Test.
We're good.
Tell us how the Odyssey came to be 20 years ago.
I went to a conference in Atlanta and I showed up on the wrong day. And rather than just going back to Athens, I was given the option to attend, a workshop. And as I was looking at the workshops, they offered me the chance to do a journalism workshop. And I was like, well, I do lit mag. This seems like it would make sense. I didn't realize it, but the people in the room were heavy hitters, like just legends in scholastic journalism. And it felt like something we could do at Central. And as I sat and thought about it, it's like, why does this big school not have a consistent news publication? Came back, talked to Dr. Esom, talked to Tammy Pope, who is the associate principal, and they basically said, go recruit.
I got involved with the Odyssey kind of right at the very beginning when it was still in its idea phase. In the spring of 2003, which was my freshman year, Mr. Ragsdale assembled a group of interested students to attend the GSPA Awards because he was interested in launching a news magazine at Clarke Central. So he brought a bunch of us to the awards to kind of scope out what other high schools across the state were doing with their papers and magazines to see if it was something we thought we could do at our school. I know we all left that day really excited about the possibility, and the Odyssey was launched the very next semester.
That first year was really trying to will it into existence. We had a student teacher who was with us briefly, and she had experience with Scholastic Press, so certainly anything we could pull from as a resource, as guidance. We had ancient computer. Even by 2003, they were ancient computers. These were mid-90s PCs, the beige Dells and Compacts. And Mr. Buddy Woods, the late Buddy Woods, donated some software that we used, Quark Express, and kind of went from there. We started with very little funding. The notion was we sell ads, but SGA really underwrote the publication for the first couple of years. We were selling candy, we were trying to sell magazines in the hallway. The idea to give the magazine away was kind of preposterous, but do you want kids to read it or do you want it to sit in the room?
I can remember when the first issue was published and a few of us were sent to the cafeteria during lunch periods with a stack of magazines in hand and instructed not to come back to class until we'd given away every single copy. And we could not give them away, even for free. Once students started seeing themselves in the pages of the magazine, things turned around and then the demand increased, but we could not give it away at first. It was hard.
Let's talk about the evolution of the program over the years.
Probably from 2003 to 2006 was figuring it out. I would say 2006, 7, we took a leap. We went to a fully glossy magazine, and I think by 3 years in, we kind of knew what we were doing. A number of us went to Nashville for a national convention, and one of the people speaking referenced the Odyssey with clarity, and that was like, whoa, maybe we're doing something right. 2009, we took a big leap with professionalism. 2010 probably to 13, making waves. We had gotten a couple of Pacemaker finalists. 2011, the editor-in-chief had a really great team, and we had our first Pacemaker, and to date the Odyssey's only Pacemaker. We've been bridesmaids a number of times, but I think by then we kind of figured it out. Had recruiting in mind. Shortly thereafter, 2014, we had a web exclusive class, we had a print exclusive class. We'd gotten the website roughly 2007, but actually generating content exclusively for web as opposed to just shoveling stories. That was a big move. 2014-15, bringing broadcast to the table. 2017, we went back to a convergence model where it would be one production classroom where we did everything. Everyone was cross-trained, which is very much the trend at the time. And we had a dedicated journalism 1 class, so big kids got to be mentors to little kids.
There were a lot of students and friends teaching each other things. So seniors copy editing sophomores or freshmen, and having conversations that were really substantive and taking each other both seriously. I remember how important it felt as a young student to be in those kinds of conversations with older students who I admired and wanted to learn from.
I remember when the Odyssey first got its Instagram in 2013, you look at those posts and they're horrifying. You know, bad filters, not really journalistic, and just growing that following, breaking news on social media, realizing the import of social media. And, you know, I guess through all the years, the consistency has been cool kids who work hard and are willing to tell the stories of their community.
My favorite thing about being in the Odyssey is the people. I think that this is such a unique space because we have people from all different grade levels, all different backgrounds, people who participate in different things. Each and every one of our staff members and editors brings such a unique role to the program, and everyone just works together to create this really great, positive environment where everyone can grow.
It was kind of like a second or a home on campus in a way. I think probably a lot of people feel this way at that age, but I didn't want to spend that much time at my actual home. You know, I wanted to be with friends, and the Odyssey room was always a place where, you know, there were people that I liked and wanted to hang out with, and you know, it was open early in the morning and sometimes late into the nights. So that was a good time.
We spent so much time together that it really did become like a family.
Mr. Ragsdale, as you know, just kind of throws you in and has very high expectations. And so I think that I was looking for that kind of environment, and that's why I wanted to join, and then ultimately had a really good experience.
It was something that took a lot of work and that was oriented around this mission of, you know, covering Clarke Central and trying to make it a better place. That was really cool.
I wanted to be there so much because I would just laugh so much. And I think sometimes I would even procrastinate and, you know, be messing around and goofing off because I just wanted to spend more time in there. I knew I'd have to get the work done, right? But like, I wasn't rushing to get out the door.
I think it just gives you so many skills for life, big and small.
In my eyes, the program is set up to kind of set students up for success in life, no matter where they land. You know, it doesn't even matter what you end up doing after you graduate. Like, you're going to take away some lessons from Odyssey that you're going to use for the rest of your life.
I've become a better writer, and I've become a better leader, but I think I've also become a better person in a way.
It was the first time that I had felt so absorbed with something that I was doing. Like, I felt like I wanted to dedicate all of my time and energy to the work that I was doing. As I've gotten older and, you know, pursued my professional career, it's a feeling that I had first in the Odyssey, and then something I've really pursued and wanted to feel again and again in jobs that I've taken.
It opened the doors for me to write for the Athens Banner Herald, which was a huge success for me in my life.
I think Odyssey can be this place where you learn more about yourself, and also, you know, you become in some ways the best version of yourself, or at least, you know, you're pushed to work hard and to accomplish things that you wouldn't otherwise. And I think that is really, really valuable.
So what is it like working with Mr. Ragsdale?
Working with Mr. Ragsdale is a treat. I love working with Mr. Ragsdale. Oh God, I don't know where to start.
Wow, what do I want to say here?
Oh man, I'm not even sure you can really sum up what it was like to work with Mr. Ragsdale.
Well, it was never boring, that's for sure.
More difficult than any boss you'll ever have.
Undescribable. Can you say that? Can that be it?
Intense, thoughtful, goal-oriented guy.
You know, Mr. Ragsdale has this passion for helping students become sort of the best versions of themselves that is really, you know, motivating, and at the same time sometimes can be frustrating.
His classroom was so cold.
He expects a lot of his students.
At times, and often simultaneously, a mentor and teacher and friend.
He made us feel like empowered to be leaders in high school.
He has this somewhat kind of snarky, dismissive affect that he puts on, but underneath it, he's somebody who really cares about his students and cares about Odyssey and what it means for Clarke Central.
I was a very insecure kid and didn't think a lot of myself, but I would credit him as being one of the people who saw a lot of potential in me and pushed me to almost like push myself more.
I think it's also rare to, you know, have a high school teacher who will surprise you by screaming a pterodactyl noise in your ear at 9 p.m. while you're trying to finish edits on a story.
He truly has been one of the most influential people in my high school career, and I don't think that I would be who I am without his guidance and his teaching.
If you dared to open a pack of gum in his classroom, he was going to know about it, and you were going to give him a piece. That was kind of just the tax that we all paid for being in his class.
Why is the Odyssey important?
You know, the pat answer is providing community news. I think the real answer is growing young people and developing leaders. The relationships are everything. You know, I'm a facilitator. If you find your best friend of high school here, that's money. If you learn how to talk to adults, that's money. If you can look someone in the eye and learn responsibility, I think that's where it's at. Reporting community news is really kind of gravy at this point. I think we know how to do it. I think we can execute it, but growing young leaders and cool young people who are informed and who can walk out of high school ready for challenges, knowing how to manage time, knowing how to manage conflict, knowing how to manage projects. I think those are invaluable.
I think you can look at the alumni of the program and see all the kind of great things that they've done, and you can see that it's really a program that sets you up for a lot of success in a lot of different careers, not just journalism or communications, but just in all other aspects of life.
A few years ago, I was serving as a 9th grade English teacher, and everyone in my department is like, I've never met someone that could teach the Odyssey the way that you teach it. And there's always like this little piece of me that's just like, yeah, because I remember the Odyssey taking me on my own Odyssey.
Odyssey is one of those things that you just hope always exists because the program is so strong. It's, you know, putting out really strong, valuable students to the community, and it is an institution at this point, you know, and I hope it continues forever. As long as Clarke Central exists, I hope the Odyssey exists.
The impact of the Odyssey on our careers and our lives has been pretty substantial. We are both professional communicators. We both work in communications in different capacities. And we're married, and we met at the Odyssey, so that's pretty consequential, I would say.
20 years down, a gazillion more to go. And whatever way moving forward needs to look like, however we need to get there. And I say we because it's a family. Whatever needs to be done, let's see a gazillion more years.
You know, 20 years ago, we barely knew what we were doing, and we were making a lot of this up as we went along. So to see the way the Odyssey has grown and evolved over the years, and to see the passion that the students still have for it is just really incredible to see. This is a legacy that I am really proud to be a part of.
Thank you to Mr. Ragsdale, alumni. Thank you to parents especially for everything that you do, and to all the families that support us.
I want future Odyssey students to know that you are going to meet some of the most amazing people and experience some of the most amazing things And even though it's gonna be tough and there will be times when you are upset or stressed, that the people and the experiences and just the whole thing makes it so incredibly worth it.